Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is part 2 of the future. So, in this video, we're going to continue talking about going to and will. And this time, we're going to focus on predictions, facts, offers, and promises. So, let's start with predictions. In English, we have two types of predictions. Predictions based on evidence and predictions based on opinion. So if you're going to make a prediction based on evidence, something you can see or something you can hear, you need to use going to. So let's look at some examples. Say you're at the swimming pool. There's a guy on the diving board, and you say, look, he's going to jump. He's going to jump. He's going to jump. You have the evidence of the pool. You have the evidence of the diving board. Maybe the guy's even warming up, doing some action to prepare himself to jump. So you use going to. Another example, you're with your friend and you say, look at the clouds. Do you think it's going to rain? Do you think it's going to rain? And your friend looks at the clouds and looks at the color, looks at the direction that they're moving, and he makes his prediction based on that evidence with going to. Yeah, I think it's going to rain. No, I don't think it's going to rain. Like that. Another example, maybe you're with your colleague and you're going to a meeting together and you check the time and you notice that the meeting starts in 20 minutes. So you tell your colleague, hey, we're going to be late. So based on the time, based on where you are, based on what Google Maps says, you can make that prediction with going to, because you have evidence. Predictions based on opinion. So, let's imagine that you and your friend plan a trip to visit another friend named Sarah and her husband Steve in Chicago. So you call Sarah up and you say, hi Sarah, my flight lands at 6:30. What time do you think I'll get to your house? What time do you think I'll get to your house? And Sarah thinks about it. No, I think her name's Ashley. Ashley thinks about it for a minute, and based on her past experiences making the same trip, she says, you'll get here around 8. You will. You'll get here around 8. So let's say 8 o'clock rolls around and Ashley and Steve are waiting at the house for you to arrive and have dinner, and Steve is getting hungry and he asks Ashley, do you think they'll get here soon? Do you think they will? Do you think they'll get here soon? And Ashley gives him an opinion based on her experiences with the trip and maybe even her experiences with you. She says, yes, I think they will. Another example, maybe it's the next day and you and your friend decide to go sightseeing. And you decide to go to, I think it's called Centennial Park, the place with the peanut where everyone takes a picture. And Steve immediately says, hey, be careful. There's pickpockets. People in Chicago have guns. And Ashley says, oh, don't worry, Steve. They'll be fine. They will be fine. They'll be fine. So based on her past experiences and her opinion, she predicts that you will be okay. Next is facts. If you want to state a future fact, something that's outside of your control, you need to use will. So, for example, if you say, she'll be 30 in March. She'll be 30 in March. As long as she makes it to March, she'll be 30. Another example, you could say, will it be dark before 7? Nowadays, especially, it's really easy to look up when the sun sets, what time it will be dark. So in this case, it's a future fact, so use will. Will it be dark before 7? Another example, maybe you're at a barbecue and you see a box of ice cream sitting in the sun. And you think to yourself, that's not good. I'm going to put this ice cream in the freezer so it won't melt. So it will not melt. So it won't melt, right? As long as the freezer is working, the ice cream won't melt if you put it in there. Next we have offers. So if you're going to make an offer to someone, you should use will. So, for example, hey, will you give me a hand? Will you give me a hand? Or, I'll help you learn English. Easy. And finally, we have promises. So if you make a promise to someone, you also use will. So for example, you might tell your boyfriend or girlfriend, I'll call you when I get home, right? People like to do that. Or another promise could be, I won't let you down. Right? I will not let you down. I will call you when I get home. I'll call you when I get home. So that's it. Now you guys know how to use the future with will and going to, and you can start practicing it right away. And if you do it correctly, you'll boost up your English.